Hello. Welcome. It is Atomic Radio Hour episode. I've already fucked it up. Episode something.
Who knows?
I am your host Vince,
and I'm your bedhead host Olive.
Hello, everybody, and welcome.
Hey.
How are you doing, my friend?
I'm up. As you can probably see if you're on YouTube, it's way brighter than it usually is when we record. It's because this is the morning time. Whoa.
Yeah, I did notice that I can see my little window that there's actually light coming in. And
there's just like a huge blast of light coming from my window.
Yeah.
And it's changed my entire setup because usually I have to set my lights behind my computer to be really bright to compensate. But now it's actually the natural light's kind of cute.
My room's always been dark. But just naturally, so I feel like the only
your
way
soul.
Yes, exactly. I feel like the only way you're gonna notice that there is that we're filming at a different time is because of the way the light at my window is. But this is an Atomic Radio Hour that we've recorded in the past for future reference, in case something has happened behind the curtain for you. We like to refer to these as burners. Not that they're anything less or not up to snuff of what we consider an episode of Atomic Radio Hour. It's just in case something comes up and we need a week, then these exist.
You're probably going to be hearing this while I'm on my orientation week. It's probably in mid-August or maybe early September right now.
Or
because
I'm in Japan.
Just have crazy work in August. I'll just disappear. You won't see anything of me.
Yeah. Or, like I said, I'll be away if the U.S. is even allowed to let people out of the country.
As it stands now, we're not doing so hot on pandemic response.
I heard Pennsylvania's moving back to yellow because apparently we're the only state that does. And this is, I shouldn't even say this because by the time this comes out, I don't know.
we're starting phase 4 today, actually, in New York here. So that means there's things like salons are gonna be open with special permissions, and the DMV I think opens this phase.
Oh god, sorry.
Just in case you fucking needed that shit.
I mean, there's a lot of people that didn't get their license, and a lot of people that their licenses expired or their tags expired, and it was just what do I do? And the cops couldn't do anything. But that probably didn't stop them from beating somebody up for no reason.
Because we know how America is.
Yeah. Fuck 12. So, all right. This being a burner episode, as we like to call it, we thought, why not review a movie? And this is a movie which, of course, hold on. This is a movie that I've wanted to see for a very long time. This is a movie that inspired a quest line, one of the better quest lines, if I can fix my fucking chair, in Fallout 3. It is a movie called Them. I have the physical Blu-ray here. I actually bought a bunch of Blu-rays so we could review them. This being one of them. I'm gonna read the back real quick, if that's cool.
If you could, yeah.
It says, man has split the atom and ushered in a new era. But how could we have what the fuck? Dyslexia is a hell of a drug. But how
Especially this early in the morning.
But how could he have known he would also create Them, the landmark movie about giant radiation mutated ants, boasts remarkable Oscar-nominated special effects. Them begins in New Mexico with a child wandering in shock, a ransacked general store, and a battered corpse full of enough formic acid to kill 20 men. It tells you the ending. It ends with an epic struggle in the 700-mile storm drains under Los Angeles, where the insect hordes are beaten thoroughly. Though they are spawned a generation of films about radioactive creatures, some approximate the terror, but few have eloquated the artistry of Them.
I really liked this movie.
There's a quote on the back that says, by far the best of the 50 cycle of creature features. I was going to ask you, I normally start these off by asking you, what did you think about it? Did you like the movie?
I really like this movie. I had it on last night, so it's pretty fresh in my brain. It was a little slow to get into, I will say that. I was like, all right, come on, show me the cool monsters, or like give me a little bit more.
Yeah.
You find like the footprint early on, and I'm like, okay, we're getting a little bit further. And once they actually like find the first ant of like the first them, I was like, all right, cool, because I really was excited about the practical effects of them. And
Really?
I really liked like the giant ant rigs. I think they were so cool. The only thing is, I'm not sure if your version was like this, but the sound that they put in for them was basically made this unwatchable with headphones.
Yeah, it's awful. I mean, you know how my setup is at home. I have big.
Yeah.
I think they're 13 or 15-inch speakers that are behind me. They're actually for like DJing and like house parties and shit. And I have my TV, and you know me, I like Blu-rays and shit. Like I like to make sure I see everything.
You want to experience it as it was meant to be experienced.
The sound they make is, I shit you not, fucking. It sounds like a Pennsylvania summer night. It sounds like they took a microphone and fucking blasted the gain on a summer night in Pennsylvania right before it gets humid, because the one sound they kept using sounds like a bullfrog.
Yeah, I remember that one. I was thinking more of, all right, so you never like lived in town.
Pause. Stop. You know where the baseball field is in town, in the town we live in? You know where the stream is?
Yeah.
Go there. Like I said, it's like school just got out a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's kind of twilighty.
Yeah.
And like you can smell reefer in the distance because the older kids are walking around puffing on a jazz cigarette. Like it's in the distance, like, and you're kind of walking past the baseball field.
Yeah.
And you can hear the bullfrogs. That's what the sound of this movie reminded me of.
I kind of got that, but the other sound that I got from the creatures' sound, for them's sound,
the Sumpturations.
You know, like when a car has like shitty like brakes, and it's just like squeaking horrifically.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that, as they're just like running down the street, like that like sound of like that shrill shriek is the sound that they make. And I literally like, I couldn't wear headphones because I was wearing headphones because I was watching it late at night. And then I moved it to my speaker. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking, but before we go into this, I want to say we are going to be spoiling the movie. It's from 54. So it's how many years old? Oh, 70 years old?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is,
And then I had to keep turning my speaker down because I didn't want to wake everyone else in the house with the shrill brake pad squeaking.
These bullfrog
Even though I really
ass
enjoyed the
brake
movie,
pad.
I just like had to keep my hand on like the choke over here of my speaker.
I didn't like this movie.
You didn't like it, no?
No, there was just I watched the movie 6 times and every time I fell asleep.
Jesus. I liked it, but I just, like I said, I thought it was kind of slow.
The intro sucked. The first half it wasn't great.
Yeah. But once it got into it, I was like glued to it. Once like the monsters like became an apparent threat.
Kind of. There's a few scenes where I'm like, this is fucking awesome and I want more of this. Like when they first show the ants show up, when they show them show up and they're shooting at them, that's really cool. When they go into the hive, that's really cool. Like
the first time they find like the first hive and I shit you not, like 2 minutes straight of a guy just shooting a bazooka at the hole, and it just goes between him shooting and the hole, and that's it.
Yeah, but
2 minutes straight of bazookaing this hole, and oh my god, it was just so funny because it was just kind of like looping it, and oh my god, I saw the age in the film.
Yeah, and some of the it's not that I didn't like the movie, it's just I kind of felt like I fell asleep. I watched it 6 times and I fell asleep every time, and I didn't watch it 6 times like I woke up, rewound it. I would fall asleep and go, all right, I'll just pick up where I did another time. So I maybe watched the movie 1.5 times total, but I restarted it at least 3 times to like try to watch it again. Just before we started recording,
I was cleaning my room. So I watched it while I was cleaning my room. So I was like, okay, it's a little bit boring. I can start like folding my laundry.
Yeah, but like I was so taken out of it by the end of it that I was like texting and like checking my phone during like the best part of the movie, and I was like, oh, this is actually really good, this part. Like I just before I tried watching it last night before I had to go to work, couldn't fucking watch it, fell asleep, came home, said, all right, I gotta finish this movie. Like, I have to watch this. And I fell asleep during the fucking part where they're in LA. Like, when they're trying to... I thought that was the best part. No, it is the best part, and I fell asleep, and then I woke up, and I was like, oh, fuck, I have to rewind, like, 20 minutes of movie. Like, it's not a bad movie. Like, I don't want to come off that I didn't like it. It's just... There's some parts of it that are really, really interesting and really, really good and really had me hooked. And then other parts I'm just like, oh my God. Like, what happened to the little girl? Like, she just shows up and then she's gone. I don't remember ever be giving an explanation about what happened to her.
Yeah. Well, before we continue, do you want to give, like, a brief, like, synopsis of the story points of it?
Yeah.
So...
Oh, I like the way it opens, to be honest.
Yeah.
I like the way that it opens because it's not just like kids at makeout point. Like, it's not full on 50s trope, but when they get more into the LA stuff, you can kind of see more what became 50s trope. Like, they show girls at the malt shop and like Butch with his main girl on makeout point, like listening to the radio. And the only time there was a black dude in the film is when he was shining shoes. I was like, this is fucking like, this is the 50s in full swing. Like, yeah. But, like...
And they're talking with that transatlantic accent, see?
That's another thing. Like, you can hear that they were doing it, but it was also the era of coming out of it. Yeah. And I feel like the message at the end of the movie, which we'll get to later, had been... Another movie came out in the same year, which we'll talk about when we get to the ending of the movie, that had a better way of describing the same message. So, but I'll get into a little bit of that later, but the thing is, the movie starts up, and I like the way it starts up because it's not, like I said, kids, and it's not this, it's the people that that have these reports of someone going missing or something going on is implied because they're two cops that are looking for something, and you don't have to learn all of these, like, they're not, it's well written in the sense that it's like, oh, we don't have to make them kids or adults that are just dumb be like, well, maybe if we go to old man Carruthers' house or general store, we can see if he knows any information. You know what I mean? It was like, there's a report of there's a shakeup at, I forget the Gramps, I think his name was Gramps Emmett or something, at Gramps' convenience store. Like, they already had an idea of what was going on, and it was faster, but at the beginning is also so
real early.
What's up?
I like that they brought the scientists in early.
Oh, he's the best character.
Process. Yeah,
I fucked up. Hold on. I'm sorry. I normally like to do this whenever we do a movie review, and I totally forgot because I didn't take notes because, like I said, I just finished watching it. This this movie, Them. It is directed by Gordon Douglas, and it is written by Teddy Sherman. He did the screenplay, and Russell S. Hughes did an adaptation. This movie also stars... Why is it done like this? James Whitmore as Dr. Ben Peterson. Dr. Harold Medford was played by Edmund Gwenn. Joan Weldon played Dr. Patricia Medford, the second best character. James Arness is Robert Graham, and I don't think anybody else really matters.
Yeah.
A problem I had with this movie, too, is I don't know any of these characters' names.
Neither do I. I only know the girl doctor.
Because they made a big point to point out her name, and it's kind of that reveal of like, oh, this is Pat. Oh, it's a woman. Oh, cool, Patricia. Like, that, and I like that name. But the doctor, Medford, is the best character. Yeah. He's the fucking best character in the movie. And I like how the movie never directly says ants until the ants show up. I do really, really enjoy that.
They're like, the general store was robbed. All the sugar cubes are taken.
Yeah, and then it's like, but even when they say he's an, I don't think it's entomology, but I think entomology is just bugs in general. But she says, my father is one of the leading scientists in this field. And he's like, what's with all this science mumbo-jummin'? Woman, shouldn't you be in the kitchen? Shouldn't you be pressing my shirt? It's 1954. Like, we're the baby boomer generation. We're gonna buy all the houses and ruin it all for everybody. Like, just, it's fucking, like, just, I was picturing more of that. I'm surprised no one once said to her, like, you're a woman and you'll do your womanly activities.
They were pretty progressive. If we're being honest, they were pretty progressive about their stance of women in STEM in this movie for the time.
I guess. Well, so these officers, which it starts in New Mexico, which I thought was neat because you don't really see a lot of things in New Mexico. They get these reports
at not an abandoned, but like a previous nuclear test site where they tested the first atomic bomb on American soil.
Was it exactly that spot?
That's where the Dr. Medford said that the ants mutated.
Huh.
Because New Mexico is where they dropped the first A-bomb.
Yeah. So, all right, let me just do a quick summary. They're like, hey, some shit's going on. They go check it out. They call him the scientist. There's a little girl who's in total shock. And then he gets this acid and like puts it under her nose like Mike Tyson in his glory days trying to use some smelling salts. And she's like, it's them, and she's like yelling and shit. And then they're like, what the fuck is going on? They go back to the desert. They have these really cool like sci-fi goggles on. And then the ants start attacking and they're just like, shoot. And then the movie kind of starts opening up a little bit more. You find out that there's a possibility that ants could have flown out. They try to go to the main hive in New Mexico and close that off. And that scene is awesome where they're in those tunnels.
Pretty awesome, yeah.
Yeah, and they're trying to fight them off and they're like, and they got flamethrowers and shit.
And then they get to the egg chamber.
Yeah, and there's nothing there but just larvae.
Yeah, and they already like scooted the nest. And they're like, oh fuck.
And then this part I thought was incredibly slow too. They try to figure out if they're not in New Mexico, where did they go? The part where they're on the ship, so there's like
I liked the ship part.
The ship, I wish there was more ship shit. There was
more ship.
What kind of shit do you ship? There was
I ship it.
There was the female doctor, Patricia, she says, who's the daughter of the head doctor, Medford. She's saying that like the way the ship was, it was open and it didn't have a tarp on it, and it was docked in Santa Monica for so long, and that the queen would have saw that and said, okay, I'll lay eggs here, and then another ship came over and took it down. And they sunk the ship, so that queen's gone.
Because 3 queens escaped the nest in New Mexico.
Yeah, and then you find out that there's these other queens that have landed in the LA River, which I think is super neat because it's just a different idea of like, hey, look, they got to colonize somewhere. They're most likely going to colonize in a place like this.
In the dank underground of the city.
Yeah.
The big city.
Of what?
In the big city.
Yeah.
I love the transatlantic accent.
Look at it, Chief. We're going to find these ants, and then we're going to bring them home, and I'm going to tell my wife to have a steak on the table by 5:30.
Now cut the science talk and say it in English.
Like, that's
a real line from the movie.
I know. It's. I can tell a lot of movies took inspiration from this. Fallout 3 took inspiration from this.
I can see where the genre started. I can see how this is very much the beginning of the genre.
I wouldn't say the beginning of a genre, but I would say definitely one of the strongest contenders in the genre.
Mm-hmm. Especially early on.
Yeah, I mean, this is 54. The ants look great, and they have that charm to them that CG would never have. Like, imagine if they remade them today. It would, with, like, The Rock playing The Rock, like he does in every movie. He'd be like, giant ants, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Like, it would just be like, all right, dude, I get it. You're The Rock. You're huge. Like, apparently The Rock's, like, 5'9". Like, I'm taller than The Rock. The Rock could kick my ass, but
he must wear clogs or something when he's on stage.
He probably there's a clause in a lot of actors' contracts that says like they can't be shorter than like any other person when on screen and shit.
Huh.
Yeah, it's like really like insecure.
It's really, really insecure.
Did you ever see that picture of the baseball player getting interviewed and he's like standing on a bucket so he could be like 3 inches taller than the reporter who's a female? And
oh my god, really?
Yeah. I want to say he played for the Blue Jays. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I know that the team is blue. I want to say it's Canada. It's just one of those like, all right, dude, you're a manlet who makes millions a year playing a fucking children's game. Like,
yeah.
One of the best tweets, we'll get back to me, one of the best tweets I ever saw was, I don't like when people are medium-sized. Pick one. Be short or tall. Like, they have a choice.
I kind of like being short. And you know what? I think I've gotten a little shorter recently.
Have you really? Do you really think you have?
I think I have, by at least like an inch.
Well, that's kind of the short and the long of it.
Yeah. So I liked the LA stuff. All the LA stuff, good for me. The part with the lost kids and the dad that was probably eaten, I liked that part of it. What do you think about the inclusion of that as like a story aspect?
I was kind of like, where is this going?
Because they're like, the kids, they're missing. They're probably eaten. Let's just bomb the sewers.
It kind of felt like baby bait a little bit.
Yeah.
Because the kids show up and then I don't really remember what happened to them.
The kids acting is so funny.
Oh, no, dude, it's fucking 54. Those kids acting is not good.
The one kid... Oh, so there's, like, two kids that are trapped in the sewers. And one of them is, like, pretending to cry, and the other one is stone-faced.
I don't even remember that. I was so out of it at that point. Did you buy a copy of the movie? Did you buy a digital copy?
Yeah, it was only $9 to buy digital on Amazon.
Cool.
Even though I hate...
the Zon?
The Zon, yeah.
I bought the fucking Blu-rays off of Amazon last year, so I mean, what's the lesser of two evils? At least I don't have to go on the website again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But here's how out of the movie I was. I didn't watch any of the special features.
You didn't watch any of the special features?
I didn't watch any of them.
You always watch the special features.
Dude, I watch all the special features. I do fucking research online and shit. Like, but I was just so like. This is a movie that I would have liked a lot more if I like Mystery Science 3000 it.
Yeah.
If I was with people, if I could sit around and be like, haha, look at that ant, look at that ant-ass ant.
See,
like,
I feel like we would have had a great time if it was like you, me, and some of the
Kyle?
Atomic Tabletop guys.
Yeah.
It would have been a fun time.
This is a movie that I could see Kyle loving. I fell asleep every time. Like, even when I was just watching it now, because I was like, oh, I gotta get in contact with Olive, I gotta record, I got XYZ to do. I was just like, all right, let me just put it on. And I'm sitting on my bed, and I was like, I'm not gonna lay down, because the first time I went to watch it, I laid down and just passed out. Mm-hmm. And this time, they're like entering the subway. They're entering the sewer system in LA, and I woke up and I went, God damn it! Like, I didn't even realize I fell asleep.
I time traveled again.
Yeah,
I liked the when they went to the psychiatric hospital.
That was cool. Like, the dude who was like crazy.
Yeah, and he's like, I swear, I saw these UFOs that were shaped like giant ants. Yeah. And they're like, we believe you. We're going to get you out of this mental hospital, which was probably not the right call.
You think in general?
Letting a man out of the psychiatric ward of the hospital, because he seemed crazy regardless of the ants.
You think so? I didn't think he was.
Yeah. Oh no, he seemed kind of nutty.
I at that point I kind of didn't like the main character. Okay, I want to just talk about something quick, talking about these main characters.
Yeah, the main characters kind of suck.
Yeah, there's the cop, and then there's the FBI dude. And the cop you think is going to be the main character, and then the FBI dude just kind of comes in, and he's just like, hey, it's me, Rip Studley. I got a big chin, and I'm 6'4". And, like, I know I always say this, and it's always shitty, but, like, it's probably because I'm 95, but this is, like, what my idea of what men look like.
Like, it's because you're 95.
Yeah, I mean, like, I said it when we reviewed the Omega Man. Like, I kind of just picture men to be like... Like, my idea of what a man looks like is Charlton Heston. Like, he's not built, but he's not fat, and, like, it's a kind of weird middle ground. And
he's, like, toned medium.
Yeah, and I think, like, women in the 50s just genuinely were beautiful.
I think that the fashion sense and the style was iconic for the time.
There's a dress that she wears with a hat that I was like, ooh, girl, kill it. Like, look what you look like. Like, you're out here. Like,
I like that, yeah.
And, like, the hairstyles and shit, like, I really enjoyed that.
We should bring back a revival of that, like, hair era, that hera, if you would.
I don't have hair.
You don't have hair, but I do, and I want a cute little bob.
If you get a bob cut, ooh. If you get a bob cut, I would
Right
not
now,
be
my
upset.
hair is kind of short for that.
If you got yourself like a 50s housewife do,
Oh, I should. It's a lot of
think you
work. I don't
should.
feel like putting. I'd have to use curlers, and it'd be
yeah,
annoying.
but think about it like in the modern day sense. It's not the 50s. Like you don't have to go into one of those big beehive machines that like gave you radiation poisoning from fucking shaking, and you would sit
Yeah.
there and read a fucking Cosmopolitan, like, and smoke cigarettes while pregnant. The 50s were wild.
The 50s were literally a wild wasteland.
Like, if you look at the progression of
culture.
time, it's like the 50s, cigarettes and martinis constantly. The 60s, we're just gonna smoke reefer till we die.
And
the
then
70s,
kill
let's start
presidents.
doing acid and mushrooms. The 80s, coke, 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 coke. The 90s, heroin. Like what the fuck?
and now, like early 2000s, bath salts. I guess. Like,
Yeah,
What?
you know what's becoming really big?
what's becoming really big?
Whippets.
Oh, that's like they've always been around.
No, I know, but that's going to be like the trend drug of 2020, from what I understand. Yeah, dude, fucking. What's that Tribe lyric? Daddy, don't you know that things go in cycles, just like Bobby Brown's biting off of Michael?
Ooh.
From their best album, Low End
They're
Theory.
from a pretty good album.
From their best album,
It's a great
Low
album.
End Theory, off one of the greatest intro tracks, Excursions.
Midnight Marauder is the better album. Personally,
It's a fucking
in my opinion.
9.8, and Low End is a
Low End
9.9.
Theory is like a 9.5, and then Midnight Marauders is a perfect 10.
You
Because that
really
album
think
rocks.
so? This has nothing to do with the movie review.
This has nothing to do with the movie, but we
That's how
do
out
argue
of this
about this
movie I
every
was.
single time. Every time that this comes up, we do argue about it. You probably, if you've been here for a while, you know that we argue about the best Tribe album.
You know that the best Tribe album's Low End. It's a fact.
You
It's
know
a
it's Midnight
fucking
Marauders.
fact. I want to like
It has a guide to bring you through the album.
yeah, but Low End's got fucking Low End is just like the first 3 tracks on Low End are straight heat. And I'm not good with
Yes.
names because normally I just put an album on and listen to it, so I'm sorry, but fucking Low End is so good. They use the Wilhelm scream 3 times in this movie.
Did you count? Because I thought I heard it way more than that.
Really? I picked up on it thrice.
I thought I heard it like 5 or 6 times.
Oh my god. It got to the point where I was like, all right, we get it. It's a stock sound. I didn't realize it was that old.
Yeah, Wilhelm Scream is older than that, even.
No, I know. I know.
I think it started in like the 30s.
Wow, that's
Maybe.
almost the 40s.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to talk about in regards to this motion picture?
I would like to propose something.
Okay.
If they were to, not necessarily remaster, but retell this story in a modern setting,
Yes.
with like a modern like screenplay of it, what would you think about that? Because I personally would really like to see a modern retelling of this. Like, imagine this being like dealing with this problem with our modern solutions.
All right, you want to hear what I think? You want to know because
Yeah.
this is a Warner Brothers movie. So Warner Brothers was trying to start the Dark Universe with the Mummy. So they tried redoing the Mummy, and they wanted to have a full on like Mummy universe, like how Marvel has one.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I don't know if this is still happening, but we were supposed to get the remake, not a remake, but a reimagining of Godzilla versus King Kong this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because when they opened up the Godzilla timeline, it was Skull Island. That Skull Island technically is part of the American Godzilla universe. So Legendary, I think, owns the rights to making Godzilla movies in America with the help of Toho in Japan. So Godzilla came out in like 2014 or I want to say 2014 with Bryan Cranston. And I think that movie's great. And then Kong Skull Island came out, and it takes place in the 60s. And it's not
isn't
like
that the one where they were like recording the movie the entire time with Jack Black?
No. That's the Peter Jackson one that came out in like 04, 05.
That's the only King Kong that I've seen in recent years.
Have you ever seen the older ones? There's one from like 30 something, and then there's one from like 50 something. Then I think
I
there's
saw
one
the one from 50 something.
I think there's one in the 80s, and then there's that one, and now there's this one. But this one is a different perspective where it's not from the 30s. I think John C. Reilly is in it too. and Samuel L. Jackson, like in the new one. But
Oh, really?
at the end of that King Kong, my brother was super into Skull Island. He told me the end of it, they show references to King Ghidorah from Godzilla. So then the new Godzilla comes out, which is called King of the Monsters, and that's about King Ghidorah, Mothra, and Rodan. So this year we were supposed to get Godzilla vs. King Kong, and it was going to be Godzilla in this continuity and King Kong from the new continuity fighting each other. And there was a rumor that because it's Gojira, and then it's the
supposed
first
to come out
Godzilla.
in November of 2019 or 2020, November 19th.
Oh, so it's November 19th?
Yes.
Really? That was supposed to be my birthday. The doctors told my parents that's the day I would be born. I was born 3 days earlier. So it was the first Godzilla, or is referred to as Gojira, which came out in Japan, and then the second one that came out was Godzilla Rides Again, and that's where Anguirus is first introduced, and then it's Godzilla vs. King Kong. Now there was a rumor that in Japan Godzilla wins, and in America King Kong wins the fight.
Ooh, like two different cuts?
I'm not even sure. Like, every time I hear about it and, like, look it up, someone's like, it exists. And then I look it up again out of curiosity. Like, no, that doesn't exist. This is the winner. This happens.
That would be so cool.
Yeah. So, I remember hearing about it, and they said that in this new movie, I think it's called King Kong vs. Godzilla, or Godzilla vs. King Kong. Like,
it's Godzilla versus King Kong.
Okay, awesome. There is a winner. I kind of feel like I know who the winner is going to be, just because of the way I think Skull Island works in its own continuity, that like from the 30s, the 50s, the 80s, and the newest one from like 05, is that the things on there are other Kongs. They're smaller. They're like baby Kongs. Like, this is the king of the Kongs.
Small Kong.
What? Sorry?
Small Kong.
Yeah. Baby Kong, if you will. And like, there's dinosaurs and shit on Skull Island, but I'd put my money on Godzilla any day of the week. But this King Kong,
you're a Godzilla fan.
Yes, but this King Kong is apparently, like, if he's not like as tall as this one, he's a little shorter, but he's got fucking real meat on him. I could talk about giant monsters all day. That's the few things I did like about this movie, is I do like giant monster movies.
I know you do.
And
that's why I
like,
thought you would really like this movie.
So, okay, I just want to get to one. Oh, I didn't even answer your fucking question. I apologize. This is what I think the modern day retelling of them would be.
All right, shoot.
It would open up on the DMZ between North and South Korea, right? And it would be the leader of South Korea getting a telegram, or because I'm fucking 90, he would get a telegram, not an email or like a dude like, President man, we need to speak to you. He would show up and be like, hey, someone would be like, fucking South Korea or North Korea is doing it again. And then they'd be like, what happened? He'd be like, we flew drones over illegally and we saw this. And there's just out of a nuclear plant that's like melting down these giant 30-foot ants. They're bigger in this one. And they're these giant 30-foot ants. And all of a sudden you just hear, and you can see like a few of them sprout wings and fucking fly off. And then it cuts to fucking real life New York City, and it's The Rock like rush into his apartment as his wife's like, this is why I'm leaving you, Jeffrey. And he's like, oh, please, I could be a better dad. I only spend all day in the gym. I mean, no, I'm a fucking social worker, but look how I look. I'm fucking ripped. Like, that makes total sense. Like, he was in the fucking Rampage movie, and they're like, oh, this is a zoologist. Zoologists don't look like Dwayne the fucking Rock Johnson. Zoologists look like Steve Irwin. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, that is the... You know what? I was ready to retort, but that's honestly perfect.
And here's Dwayne The Rock Johnson. He's like, I'm a social worker. I work for fucking disenfranchised children. And I love my kid, but I have such a hard time showing it. But I can show these kids that I can make a difference in their life. And my wife's leaving me because she sees my flaws. And
I can make a difference in my muscles.
I work on my imperfections by trying to perfect my body. Oh, I'm an allegory for the modern day man. Oh my god. The person who wrote this did a fucking 18-month course at fucking some Canadian film school. Says the person who filmed one short film and never put it out there because they didn't like it. Where am I going? So then, like, The Rock is like, when he was in college, he like dropped out of college, but he was like, his professor calls him, they're like, Jeffrey, we know that you were the brightest mind in entomology that this country has ever seen. And he's like, Doc, you know what that does to me. I can't go back. And it's like flashbacks of him drinking real heavy and like throwing the bottle. And he's like, I don't give a fuck who you are, but fucking spiders and shit. And then like, he's like, we need your expertise. And he's like, just when I think I'm out, you pull me right back in. And then like the subway system in New York is getting fucking flooded with these giant ants. And he's like, punching them and shooting them and shit or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's my modern day take of them.
Great, thanks. I hate it. One thing I wanted to point out about the movie is that in Fallout 3, those can breathe fire, but in them, they don't breathe fire. In fact, they're easily taken out by a flamethrower.
I would say allergic.
Allergic to fire? I think a lot of things are allergic to fire.
Yeah, my skin.
Yeah.
Most houses.
Mm-hmm. And giant bugs.
Yes. I don't know. It's okay.
I didn't love it, but I liked it. I enjoyed the cool parts, and I was like, all right, whatever. I'm folding my laundry for the other parts.
Yeah. Especially the beginning, but what the end of the movie, when they get to the one part of the sewer system and they see there's 3 queens or at least 2 queens and a male or something there, and the doctor, the best character of the movie, is like, oh, if we kill them, we'll have killed all of them. He says some line about how man entered the atomic age and we shouldn't be playing God and this and that, and
it was something to that nature.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there going like, oh, wow, a movie came out in the same year and did this exact message 20 times better.
Wait, what came out in the same year?
Godzilla.
Oh.
Yeah, Godzilla came out in 54.
You're right.
54 in Japan, and it came out in America 10 years later. It came out 9 years after the bomb was dropped. And the whole movie is an allegory for this is what happens when you play God. And because of radiation, shit mutated, and now we have Godzilla, and Godzilla is more or less an allegory for a nuke. It's an allegory for America, and which is really fucking funny to me because now Godzilla is the Japanese international ambassador of tourism.
Yeah.
So it's like, because like it's kind of gotten away from the message, but at the same time, it's like it just made me laugh that it was.
Now it's like a mascot. Yeah.
Which is cool. Like, I love Godzilla. I'll watch fucking giant monsters punch each other in the mouth. And did you ever see the quarter-mile dropkick? Have you ever seen the quarter-mile dropkick? Bless you.
Yes, I have.
Oh my god. I want to say, I think it's Godzilla vs. Megalon, and Jet Jaguar is there. What's that?
I'm pretty sure it is.
And he fucking, like, Jet Jaguar, like, grabs his arm, and he just fucking goes, he does, like, a 90-degree turn and goes fucking parallel to the ground. It just moves.
I know.
Like,
like he got railgunned.
Yeah. And when I'm watching this, a lot of this I'm going, like, my favorite Godzilla monster, like, top 3 is Mothra.
I knew it was Mothra.
She's my girl. And I'm watching this going like, oh yeah, Mothra. Like, Mothra's way bigger than these ants, but I'm like, yeah, Mothra. And like, I think it's kind of funny that the Japanese take on what happens when you play God is subtle and artistic. And it's slow, but it's if you watch the original cut of Godzilla dubbed, the best way to describe the movie is a fire. It's like slow,
it starts
burning,
off burning and smoldering, and then it gets massive.
And it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and it doesn't just end with everything being wiped out. It ends with the oxygen diffuser and whatnot. But this one is kind of like, and this is kind of funny, I think. This being the allegory for don't play God in America is a gun, and it's like, bang, this is interesting. Bang, this is interesting. Bang, this is interesting. Let me reload. These are the slow parts. All right, bang, 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 bang. Let me reload. Bang, 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 bang. All right, moves over. Don't play God. Like, it just kind of, like, at the end, I was like, I remember going, how much fucking longer is this? Like, I just kind of got to a point where, like, they kill the cop. The cop character, I think his name was Ed. He kind of gets taken out. It's just...
The scene where he gets, like, The one thing I wish that they had done, I wish that they were, because they made a point to point out that ants are violent and
Yeah,
they
and I
make
like
war,
that.
and I like that. But the actual like monster ants, like the big ants, they weren't necessarily like that violent. They weren't like ripping people in half. They were just like kind of tossing them around.
They did rip the dad who he took his kids to the fucking LA sewer to go fly planes. They ripped his arm off. Also,
they did do that.
I don't want to be like, but it is 54.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to be like, well, it's old. It's 54.
It's 54.
You know what I mean? I'm going to hit you with some trivia. You ready?
Hit me with some trivia.
Walt Disney screened the movie just because he was interested in casting James Arness as Davy Crockett. However, he was so impressed by Fess Parker as the crazy Texan pilot, he chose him for the part.
Huh.
The flamethrower used in the movie were standard World War II weapons and were loaned by the U.S. Army. The actors handling the weapons were World War II combat veterans, who would use them in battle. I'm getting these off of IMDb. I'm just going to read a couple of them. Not a whole lot. So wait,
they literally burned all those monsters?
I'm assuming that what I'm going to guess they did is that they built a couple of them and said, like, these are the ones we're burning, and they would put them out and then just reskin them or something. Because I noticed you never saw more than 3 of them on screen at a time, and you only saw 3 at the end of the movie. So I'm guessing that they had the same ones and probably shot all of the scenes where they weren't on fire first, because even on the boat there's only 2 of them that you see. Just my idea.
That's probably what ended up happening.
Oh, actually, this is the next one. The viewer never sees more than 3 giant ants at any one time, and that is all that were constructed.
Neato.
Wow, I didn't even... Cool. In 1998, Joan Weldon revealed that the temperature reached 110 degrees, 43 degrees Celsius for our UK listeners, during filming, and she and Edmund Gwen were wearing wool clothing. Oh my god. Gwen struggled with advanced arthritis. Although unnoticeable to the audience, he was in pain and was helped off the set by his valet. Wow.
Jeez, wow.
So there's a thing in the beginning of it where there's a special kind of effect, and I might go into this, and I remember reading it briefly somewhere else, where the beginning of the movie, it says them in red, and it's really cool how it's like a stark contrast. But the whole movie's in black and white. There's something about it, it might say it in here, but the film was originally to be filmed in color. 2 days before shooting began, a nervous studio cut the budget and the film had to be made in black and white. However, the opening title credits is shown with red against the black and white.
I actually didn't notice that was like, it didn't even like register that was like
really?
That. Yeah.
The sound the giant ants make as they approach their prey is a recorded chorus of bird voiced tree frogs. Dude, how fucking good am I? Of the southeast U.S., occasionally a gray tree frog can be heard on the soundtrack as well, as these species can often be heard together in the same wetland. These distinctive whistle-type sounds are reused in other films in the years that followed, particularly Mohawk in 1956 and The Black Scorpion of 1957. The director, Gordon Douglas, recalled that during the editing, I asked the editor, how does it look? And he said, fine. And I said, does it look honest? And he said, as honest as 12-foot ants can look.
That's pretty funny, actually.
This was originally going to be shot in 3D. Some elements of the 3D effects, such as the ants having an extreme close-up of the flamethrower shooting straight into the camera, were used. Although the second eye print was filmed, it was never struck and likely destroyed later. Wow. Let's do one more.
Imagine in someone's basement there's another film of this.
And it...
Yeah.
This is the last one we're going to do. A very young Leonard Nimoy appears as an army sergeant in the information center.
Oh, neat.
Oh, hold on, we'll do one more. When the movie was first released in Sweden, it was strangely named Spindelaran, which roughly translates to the spiders, which fucking...
Those aren't
The first
spiders.
giant ant appears 28 minutes into the film.
Yeah, I noticed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really a slow burn to get there.
And this was mentioned.
Actually,
what's up?
Sorry, go ahead.
No, this movie was mentioned in It, and then the one underneath that is inspired a quest in the game Fallout 3 from 2008, titled Those, in which the player must eliminate a colony of giant fire ants.
I actually have a fun fact about this one, too.
Okay.
So, our intro music is Feather Duster.
Oh, fuck you. I'm not done.
I know, I'm just kidding. I was going to see if I can get you on it.
I was like, come on, dude. I want to read some of the Fallout notes on it.
Yeah, of course. Go ahead.
Behind the scenes, the quest was inspired by the 1954 sci-fi horror film Them, a story about an early New Mexico atomic test that caused common ants to mutate into giant man-killing ones. Brian Wilkes, the kid that you have to save in the quest, will make comments from inside of the Fallout shelter. One of those comments are, "Now I know what a TV dinner feels like," which is a reference to Die Hard, in which Bruce Willis says the same line when he's crawling through a ventilation shaft. So that's really it. There's not much that is a reference other than the name from the quest in the game. What would you rate this movie?
You're fucking up giant ants.
Yeah.
There's also that.
What would you rate the movie?
What would I rate this movie? I would rate it 2 giant ants out of 3.
At first I'm going, why are you doing 2 out of something? And then I was like 3, and then I was like, oh, because of joke. I would give this movie a 6.2.
Out of?
Out of 10.
Okay, we're around the same marks then.
Yeah.
Because mine would technically be a 6.6 out of 10.
It's not a bad movie.
Oh, no, I think that it was definitely, like, a fun watch. If you want a really good slow burn to spook out one of your friends, then go for it. I don't think it's exemplary, but I think it did establish some really fun tropes that we see in the Monster Mayhem movies for years to come.
Yeah, this is a movie that I feel like is a movie that if I ever have kids, I'm like, you guys want to watch a monster movie? And they'll be like, oh, we don't want to watch any of your fucking black and white shit, Dad. We have holograms now. And I'm like, all right, kids, hold on. Let's watch some art. We can watch whatever schlock Disney's still making. They're doing hologram remakes of The Lion King. Let's watch some fucking art. When movies were pictures and you went to the movie house. Like,
you're just going to turn into a boomer.
I'm going to be like Carl from Up.
Yeah, you're just going to be like,
but without the want to go outside. That's
he
about
never
it.
wanted to leave his house. His house left him.
Yes. First his wife and then his house. Ooh. Today's intro music is not Feather Duster, but it is done by Shane Ivers.
And if you want to pick that up, you can get it at silvermansounds.com/free music.
If you'd like to follow the show, you can follow the show on our respective Twitters or the show's Twitter, which there will be links in the description below. There's a Discord which you can join and have a conversation with other listeners of the show and us. And you can also find us on Redbubble, where you can buy a shirt or a sticker, a block of clock, something to help support the show. And if you really, really like us and you really want to see us get bigger and stronger, you can find us on Patreon, which I believe is just patreon.com/Atomic Radio Hour, where there's a bunch of perks and other fun stuff that you can help give towards there. Olive.
Yes. So,
anything else you'd like to say?
We have some wonderful patrons that we have to thank. At the time of recording, these are the patrons that we have. So if you don't hear your name, or you do hear your name and you shouldn't, that's why. So we have to thank, the first on our list is Noah.
Thank you, Noah.
Then we have Gage twice.
Thank you, Gage, twice. Once for the Discord and once for the Patreon.
Next up is Jordan with a Y.
Jordan with a Y. Thank you, Jordan with a Y.
Then we got Danny.
Thank you, Danny.
And the wonderful Marcus.
Thank you, Marcus.
Thank you so much for being here, folks.
I think that's everything.
I think that's it. I'm going to go...
The soundtrack slaps. Soundtrack slaps. Sorry.
Soundtrack does slap. I'm going to go into my kitchen and kill every ant that I can find.
Have fun. Get a lighter and a fucking. Why do I have a box cutter? Get a lighter and a spray fucking can of hairspray and just.
Yeah, just torch it. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
See you later.
Everybody. Atomic Radio Hour.